I was the Minister of Aviation in this country, and I was also the Minister of Culture and Tourism from this country. Next, Deputy Director of Campaign.
Ambassadors can leave. Take about 1 at a time and leave. 1 at a time. Leave your supporters. Let me carry your supporters and go.
All right, there you go. You saw, the chit chat and the take a bow, laughs, and giggling, handshakes, and the parting at the back that happened at this part of the Senate screening of the ambassadorial and the High Commissioner list. Anyway, let's put into the proper perspective that it took more than 2 years before we arrived at this decision. When President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came in, all the ambassadors and high commissioners were recalled back, and Nigerians talked 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, and after 2 years or thereabout, we came to this point, especially with the U.S. Threat of invading, some part of the nation to take out Islamic terrorists. All of those things came into play, and the president finally nominated at 3 instances. First it was 4, then 32, then the other list, 64 thereabouts, and they were supposed to be screened. So after years, of waiting for this list, those that will represent the Federal Republic of Nigeria, they were expected to be screened as our constitution has said, and this is what they could come up with. Now, it is to be said that some nominees were questioned about their, understanding of foreign policy of the country and all of those things. Why others like Femi Fani-Kayode that you saw there, former Minister of Aviation, Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi, former governor of Enugu as well, and Yakubu Mahmood, the former INEC chair, those ones, maybe we learned that because some of them were ministers, they were told to take a bow. Mahmood Yakubu as well, former INEC commissioner, take a bow. I think the only noise that came from that screening came from that of Renu Omokri, where Senator Adams Oshiomhole and, Ali Ndume were daggers drawn at themselves. Let me just ask this way, Barrister Chitamuwala, are you impressed of the work, the so-called screening that the Senate has done on these nominees that will fly the flag of the country in other nations of the world? Your impression so far?
You know what I know what I feel like doing right now? I feel like just using very vulgar words on this video.
No, you wouldn't.
That's how I feel within my spirit. But because of the space we find ourselves, I just cannot do that. And just because sometimes this this ability to sound prime and proper and to sound responsible on TV, sometimes you just look at somebody who has done something stupidly, tell him that, okay, what you have done, you have just acted stupidly. And that's exactly what the National Assembly did yesterday.
How so?
It's a national show of shame. A national show of shame. These persons are going to represent this country as ambassadors in various nations. After 12 years, or after 2 years of the recall of the former ambassadors, we have not seen anything happen. And now, first of all, we ask ourselves, what are the caliber of persons that were nominated by the president? Charlatans. Charlatans, people who actually knew that this person would not have the caliber and the capacity to represent us in this capacity as ambassadors. People who have not carried themselves as ambassadors of this country. Someone like Renu Omokri is somebody that is will represent us as a nation, as an ambassador. Someone like Femi Fani-Kayode is the person you're talking about. People whose words you cannot take home, you cannot hold. A man like Mahmood that's conducted one of the worst elections we have had in our history as a people. These are the kind of persons who do not have a good record, in their offices, are the persons that were nominated as compensation as ambassadors to represent this particular nation. And the National Assembly that is supposed to stand up, they're supposed to step in, do a proper screening, ask them questions, and to make sure at least, okay, no, let us just assume but not conceding. Yes, okay, they have in mind to still screen them or clear them. Just do something that looks proper, so that people will not know that what you have done is the jamboree. Just ask them questions, even if you give them the question ahead of time. Ask them questions, deceive all of us. But no, what these people did was clear-cut jamboree. They just did anything they like and they got away with it. This is the nation we have found ourselves. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has brought us to this particular, has brought this nation to its knees. He has a puppet in the National Assembly, Costa Fabio, and the National Assembly members are puppets to the president.
Is that right?
They do right now.
Don't you think that's extreme for you to call? Hold on, sir. Hold on, sir. Don't you think it's extreme?
What the president has decided. That is why they are puppets. They're not representing us.
Hold on, sir. Don't you think it's extreme for you to call a two-time governor, a former minister, who is now the president of the Senate, a puppet of the executive in his own right? That's number one. Number two, why some were told to take a bow and go, you know, all smiles that we play to you right now. Some were questioned as well, and some, a particular nominee, you know, the nomination even caused ripples between two senators. So if you contextualize, will you just want to rubbish the work that they did yesterday?
I am not just rubbishing the work they have done. They didn't do any work. Let me tell you, first of all, if you want to do a serious business, you won't first of all gather in that small hall and have that rowdy section. From where I sit, from the start of the section to the end of the section, it was all rowdy. There was no organization. They were making noise. We were standing.
It was supposed to be done by a committee.
Do a serious business like the screening of ambassadorial nominees. Come on now, are we kids? A serious business like that type of screening, and this is how you do it in a rowdy section. People were standing everywhere. People were making noise, chatting everywhere. That is the thing you are asking yourself, that it should be done that way. But there is something about it. When we look at it, it is all rubbish. What they have done, we have seen that what they have done is not in the interest of Nigerians, and that they have only just done what they have done to satisfy the bidding of Mr. President. And I don't blame them. I don't blame where anything goes. And it's actually a problem. Look at someone like Femi Kayode, who has made a national statement on international issues that should be questioned on these things. He has made statements on issues that have to do with Israel and Palestine. Questions are supposed to come up from those areas. He has made statements on the Ukraine-Russia communal clash dispute they have. You ask yourself, questions are supposed to raise on these areas. These persons were just allowed to go that way. And they are going to be ambassadors. The same thing, which the confusion is everywhere. Who has come out to say that there is no Christian genocide within Nigeria? Questions were not asked with respect to these issues. They were all asked to take a bow, and we think it's normal. People in this country.
Yeah, with due respect to the National Assembly and whatever they do there, were you expecting a serious work to be done in good conscience before now?
Yes. See, the truth of the matter is this. The truth of the matter, someone like I'm usually optimistic, even if I know that they are puppets of the president. I was optimistic that I think they will give us a national show, a national jamboree show, where they will just gather the people together, ask proper questions, question them proper, drill them. Let us see that they have drilled them. Even if we know the people that the president has nominated were not people who were ordinarily qualified for that particular office. But at least give us a show. Give us a show. But no, they even worsen the situation. They worsen the situation. And that's where we are right now. This is that of National Assembly. We see a carry-go National Assembly that whenever the president calls, give them whatever he gives to them, they just go with whatever he has done. Enough of it.
Let me ask you this last question, and that will be your last take on the program. On the Rivers issue, you are blaming the president. The ambassadorial list, you are blaming the president. The president will not sit at the villa and sit at the Alo chamber. His work is to nominate. He has nominated these persons it is the work of Senate President Akpabio, his colleagues, the senators, to do their work. There is a committee that seeks to that, committee of the whole, and all of those guys. They are the ones who are supposed to now go ahead and do their work. Why do you keep blaming the president? I need you to tell me.
Because these people are puppets of the president. These are puppets. I worked at the National Assembly, my brother. I know how the National Assembly functions. I worked at the National Assembly when Buhari was president, and I know how they tried to cage the National Assembly. From the it was only the Saraki's Assembly that we saw that National Assembly was up and doing, and they could challenge certain actions of the president. Under the Ahmed Lawan administration, which was one major administration, I was there completely. I was at the National Assembly, and I can tell you how the National Assembly works. That if you do not go by the bidding of the president, there is nothing for your constituency. And most of these senators and House of Rep members you see are only doing what they are doing because they want something to come for their constituency. They want to also make money from the entire process. So they would actually stop things that are supposed to come to your constituency. Then we know these things. That's why I am seeing. I left the Senate president, whom I know is unfit to be Senate president at a time like this. He's completely unfit. He has shown himself to be a puppet of the president. He has sold the National Assembly to the president, no doubt. But in the National Assembly, all right, the moment you go against the cabal, there is a sense in which they will sideline you completely. That is why you see people like Sirake Dixon. A lot will not go to them because they speak truth to power during this assembly or during this National Assembly. You see, they speak truth to power. And it's sad. All these things are orchestrated by the president and nothing more pretentious.
All right. You know, as they say, as a lawyer yourself, they say who alleges must prove. So I'm sure you should have some proof to whatever you are saying this morning. But we must thank you.
They think I'm lying. They should take me to court if they think I'm lying.
All right. Pan-Africanist, human rights activist, and a lawyer, Chitam Fearingwala. Thank you for your time and your take and for coming up today.
Thank you for having me, Mr. Femi.
All right. There you go. That will be the size of the program today. The jury is in the open. You have a right as well, you know, to comment, to tell us your opinion on these issues, rivers of trouble, and the screening at the National Assembly. And, you know, we will make good of responding or even reading out some of them on our subsequent programs. Femi Ojo is my name. And big shout out to the production team and everyone that has worked with us all through the week. We make a return next week, God willing. But before then, have a very nice and smooth weekend. Maybe the dirty December has started, but please do whatever you can do to stay, you know, within your means. As Keith Daniel said, you know, no good they do past yourself. Stay alive. Femi Ojo is my name. I'll see you next week. God bless Nigeria.